Hello, and welcome to a special episode of This Month in Sudoku, where we're going to talk about how ideas get spirited away. We're a little playful here at the start to give an example of how a whole Japanese animation studio style has been spirited away by some unethical copying. Now, basically, there are so many AI image generators that one lazy human right here can use an AI chatbot to go to an AI image generator that doesn't need a user account to put in a prompt like make me an image of a creature solving a Sudoku puzzle. That's not really a Sudoku puzzle. AI don't know how to copy the Sudoku yet. They seem to still have like a hand coming out of the desk if you look carefully. But theft is timeless. It's not just AI that are doing this work. It's kind of unethical people behind unethical AI that are doing this work. Like the AI are representing the people that are training them as much as other things. And so how we go about this is not just one lazy human that's kind of playing with tools. It's understanding, for instance, here, the art of puzzles. And that's the story I want to talk about in the setting of Sudoku and other things. 4 of the 17 puzzles labeled as from my AI system, Dr. Sudoku, are actually from the past, but slightly altered. And I'm going to tell you that story. I'm going to tell you sort of how I was surprised it wasn't caught sooner, because to me, this is one of the most important puzzles in my life. It was a historic Friday puzzle #1 called Flower. It was an extra space. It was from our upcoming Mutant Sudoku book with Wei-Wah Wong. And it is indeed the same puzzle as what's posted by Dr. Sudoku as their first puzzle. I see you have constructed a new Sudoku. Your skills are complete. That's a dark side kind of statement by Darth Vader, if you understand where it's coming from. And 1s become 2s, 3 becomes 4s, 5s become 6s, 7s become 8s, 9s stay the same, no rotation. This is an identical puzzle. It's trying to at least not look the same. So in the future, when someone copies from source A or source B, I can tell a little better which they're copying from. But where this is inspired by the past, this was indeed a dispatch from a long time ago. This is not an original puzzle. It's just part of a different project we're doing. But that Friday puzzle #1 wasn't recognized for the first month it's been out there until we finally prompted about it. Let me tell you something else. Like motress.livejournal.com, while it's not really on the internet anymore because its Russian owners have made it kind of go down in all the search indexes, has tons of amazing ideas from the years I was putting content into it. And it's not just Dr. Sudoku that's stolen from there. And that's one of the reasons we're going to try to use some assistance, including AI, to digitize all of our old puzzles over the next year or two. We're going to start with the Sudoku where it makes sense. And we've been doing some of that now. We're just going to tell you in the future when we're doing that, because we don't think we should be secretly giving you a puzzle you solved 20 years ago. Although it will still be fun because you probably didn't remember it. In the case of this puzzle, people didn't catch on. Let me tell you the first time I was plagiarized, certainly the first time I was deeply affected by it, this was Friday puzzle #2. I was telling the story as I was releasing Yagellon Battleship, that the French had had a World Puzzle Championship qualifier that had the reappearance of some styles I'd invented. One was Hashiwaka Kuru. This is an idea where the bridges in a bridges puzzle actually have numbers as sums, and so you have to get sums across these islands to work out. I'm like, I would love to see another person play with that idea. Same case, total Mashu. This is where all the possible white or black circles are given. So I gave all the white circles in this puzzle. You have to sort of do bends to make this work. Again, like another original idea I did in a puzzle. Would be happy to see again. They even had a mystery Ken. It turns out in the championship, the puzzles I wrote were the puzzles the French qualifier used. So one way to qualify for the World Championship team that year was to use Google, type in Hashiwaka Kuro, find my puzzle, and then just know the answer before the test the next day. Like, this is not what should ever have happened, but this happened because a particular person, I'm trying to see, Jean-Louis Legrand, like, was not very grand to sort of copy me without any attribution, and certainly to use the exact same puzzles in the championship is pretty outrageous. You must say this is the first and last time a World Puzzle Federation sort of forming event sort of comes with this issue. No, not at all. Like, you know, people can say copying styles is a gray area, give credit to the originator, fine. Like, copying the exact puzzles is not. Copying the exact puzzles. Here's another very famous puzzle. I wrote this for Sudoku Cup 3. It is mostly on my live journal, but it's also on my Grandmaster Puzzle site as the example for Thermo Sudoku. So if you search Thermo Sudoku on the web, you're pretty much going to find this. In 2022, the Thailand Championship had 2 puzzles in the finals for their event. I think there was a cash prize behind them. They couldn't even, in typesetting this, make it work for the Gete. So notice how, like, the corners of this grid do not actually overlap. Like, this is shoddy all the way around. But let me focus to those who don't yet catch on to a certain thing that's happened here. Let's zoom into that. Are these grids similar? Well, they look similar, but no, that's like ESL. Like, that's not 1, 2, 3, Thomas. Like, you're just making up an idea. Like, that's not the same. Well, let me reflect this for you. So now it does show the 1, 2, 3. And let me now remove all these extra numbers. Like, this is my puzzle. in a major championship with a cash prize. That's a Thermo Sudoku, the top Google hit, at least the main example of Thermo Sudoku out in the world. And I would make this a lot differently if I did this again today. Like I'd get more symmetry in my 1 to 9 givens, but I had an easy as 1, 2, 3 theme. I had 1 to 9 in the givens. This was for a championship in the first few years I was making these puzzles, long before I had all the skills I have today to make these puzzles. But I don't appreciate being plagiarized in major events that feed into the World Sudoku Championship. Like, this is embarrassing. And that these organizers still allowed to organize is not like, what, do I have to carry this cross? Do I have to carry all these crosses? Like, others recognize this had happened, and like, what do you do about it? I don't know. Ostracism is all I got. This is the most egregious offender, at least the one that broke my spirit of ever trying to commercialize puzzle apps myself. Like, Star Battle is a puzzle I love, and Star Battle has been renamed 1,000 times. If you ever say, I love that game Parks, let me say, you don't know why the fuck you like the game Parks. You like the game Parks because this person plagiarized every single Star Battle puzzle that was on the internet at some period of time. Let me tell you that story. So in 2000, and sorry, I just put this comment up again yesterday. Sort of every time I can add a comment with a new Google account. Many plagiarized puzzles has never been taken down. Okay, just very simple, like 1 star. In 2016, a person sent me an email from another person. So like, this was even a solver who I know, but they didn't want to send straight to me. Like, your Star Battle's in this game. They sent to someone else. I think someone Star Battle's in this game. And then they sent to me, like, I think you've been plagiarized. Like, probably plagiarized. Like, authors don't understand their copyright. This was, for instance, in the message, which bothered me a bit. The app is free, but contains in-app purchases. So I'm not sure how that affects the Creative Commons license. It being free, if I have a attribution license, doesn't, like, if they have not put my name in the app, that is breaking copyright. If they have any way of getting commercial value from it, that's also breaking non-commercial. Like, and if they haven't posted my copyright with the app, that's also not the share-alike form of this license. Every single part of my Creative Commons license, all 3 traits from my journal license were broken here. And here's another author that doesn't know if that's true. And for sure, even I don't know how to prosecute this. I mean, I could hire a lawyer if I actually made money from things that like, this is just like, but this is the awful that's out there. And we have a slightly more stringent form on Grandmaster puzzles. We no longer allow derivative works. Certainly you have to get our permission before you take one of our puzzles and change it. Like, I can take my puzzles and change them, but you can't make derivs. And so if you say like scrambling rows or scrambling columns, it's a different puzzle. It's now in a gray zone. Like, there are no gray zones with no derivs. If you can say it's coming from my work, or coming from any other Grandmaster Puzzles author's work, or even like the GAS authors now are under this license. At least the puzzles that we post, the generally approachable Sudoku, are under this license. This is cheating. So this is how it goes. So I was flagged as having, there are 4 seasons in this game, 600 free puzzles, and then there's a daily thing you can get. And some amount, probably the daily puzzles are generated. A lot of the other puzzles look to be human-made, although not are expertly human-made. Like, a lot of human-made puzzles are okay. This was the capstone puzzle for the fall season, so the hardest one, a 12 by 12, and it was when I introduced what's now a more common kind of Star Battle logic, and it might have been elsewhere, but I'd never seen it before. I introduced a frame thinking, so the 4 corners of this grid have 7 cell regions that do a pretty special thing. Well, I very much remember, even without rotation or reflection, this is kind of my puzzle. Like, this is an easy one, but this was the one that was flagged to me, and so I just wanted to see like what was going on with this app. So during this 2016, this is over the July 4th holiday weekend, I just go through the app and say, like, can I uncover great puzzles by theft? Like, maybe I haven't solved all the Star Battle that are out there. It takes a while to get to fall 150. So here's a weird one. Like, why does fall 98 have a cell that's not used in row 1, column 8? Like, a generator doesn't need to do that. That seems a little more of a trait of inexpert human design, or at least there's a logical theme here, but it required fixing a thing. What's with that weird backwards 5 and those H's? They're there twice. Like, that's a pattern that shouldn't be there. What's with the upside down rainbow in the lower left? Like, that's, and it actually solves, the inside of the rainbow is where the pot of gold to start this puzzle is. So like, there's a theme that's sorry for ruining the puzzle if you play this app and get to fall 110 because you really want to get to fall 150. I had some unfair advantage to identify where these are from. Like, I know this puzzle. I wrote this puzzle. I wrote puzzles for the 24-hour puzzle championship. If you do this, that is the puzzle. Like, this is, again, from my Motris Live Journal. Puzzle 178 from the 24-hour puzzle championship is fall 108. Spring 79 is from Friday Puzzle 78, number B. It's the 4J puzzle. I haven't found the SB puzzle. It's in the set, but like, when I was going back through it again this week, I didn't find it again. Like, it's bothersome to play this app, except you run into some interesting puzzles. This is the double decathlon easy puzzle, not the hard puzzle. Again, this has both a rotation and a reflection, but all of these are in this. And so it's not just fall, it's throughout all the seasons of this app. And so I at least have a request. The next time you do this, could you at least group all my puzzles so like they're all together? Like we'll figure out if I sue you or not, or just ask you to take it down. But like it's hard enough to find just my changes. So like what's going on with others? I wanted to figure out the rest of these things. And there are different places on the internet to sort of find hosts of these puzzles. If you go to, I don't want to necessarily highlight the place this comes from, but one of the places that just has archives of tons and tons and tons of things, Yanko something, I don't remember the full name, highlights this was a Vladimir Portugalov puzzle, probably from Force Smarts. He didn't copy on his own site the copyright or the license terms. For other puzzles, like some of mine, he has those correctly on the site. But this is just someone making a big database with attribution, not commercial strictly. But if you just want to copy a lot of the Internet of Star Battle, it's pretty easy to do. And so you can find this puzzle. There are better places. Like the way I was sort of looking for them was one of the places some of the free public puzzles were out at that time, which was Puzzle Picnic. Now this site isn't there anymore, but this is the rainbow puzzle. Surprisingly, it's still upside down. Like I would have thought this was a rotation. This is from Bram Delot from 2011. Just a mere flip is the same grid. Summer 86, this is from our friend Raj. This is a 180-degree rotation, same puzzle. This is a puzzle that's trying to do a spiral theme, but has two unused cells. You can see the same thing again with a vertical mirror flip. Here's from Zevs, like countless examples. Like, and you say, like, one of the unique things about Puzzle Picnic was you had unusual grids. Like they had like octagons and toruses, like donuts, and they had like this grid, which is on a checkerboard, but has to have very special diagonal shading to make these edges work. And Winter 43. Spring 104, Summer 67. Like this is going out of your way to copy puzzles. Like there's not even a step in the middle to say, this looks unlike all the rest. Maybe we shouldn't do this one. Like this is the most egregious sort of stupid example I can see. And so where maybe Andrea Sabatini is into satanic sort of rituals, I'm pretty sure the original form of this puzzle is actually the form on the right. I don't know the author, but I think someone made a puzzle with a Christian theme. And it sort of shows the sin involved to upside down that cross and then post it as your own and try to make money through such a process. Like you are too good. You are not good enough to be worth these puzzles. Like this one with the really elegant symmetry at the top of those 3 7-cell regions of all these plus shapes. There are authors I would love to have met because I haven't mapped every single puzzle in this app yet to an actual place. But if you want to know about egregious places, I've had puzzles stolen. And just in the area of Star Battle, this is the one I'd point to. And, you know, maybe the free is what gets people excited. It's got 1,300 some reviews, 4.7 stars. Again, I gave a 1-star review, but I don't have a finger on the scale to really knock this down. This has, across Apple and Android stores, this has had more people play it than people ever come Grandmaster Puzzles. I'm sort of winning on LinkedIn, but let's sort of talk about that. Like the theft isn't just with Park Season. So we introduced a game, and my name isn't on all these puzzles, but I wrote many of the original ones, and the Grandmaster Puzzles team is behind every other puzzle. So Queens exists because we are providing these puzzles, and we give the copyright over to LinkedIn. Like there's a site, it was formerly called LinkedIn Queens, it's now called Archived Queens, and they post old puzzles, and they say, disclaimer, LinkedIn Queens is an independent product and is not affiliated with, nor has it been authorized, sponsored, or otherwise approved by LinkedIn Corporation. We encourage you to play the original Queens game on LinkedIn News. Now, my sense is that the disclaimer doesn't get you around violating copyright, that's for sure. My sense is that LinkedIn actually checks their trademarks a lot more, and so they knocked away LinkedIn Queens. And so this moved to a place on the internet now called Archived Queens. The disclaimer hasn't updated the name of the site, but they've never done a hit against the puzzle copyright. Maybe they don't know, maybe they don't care. It's a different division of a very large corporation. Here's a different queensgame.vercel.app. This has another archive of the puzzles. This one is more complete. I'm pretty sure the author of this app, at least one of them, there are more out there probably if I look, one of the archive authors emailed me and said, we think you're behind these puzzles. Do you have the missing ones that are in our archive? So they really want puzzle 4, 7, 9, 13, 14, etc. Well, this is puzzle 5. I made this to look like the LinkedIn logo. I use better colors, like the LinkedIn app or any of these apps sort of have fixed colors. But this is someone's claiming created by Sammy. They're collected from like somehow that they think that's okay. I won't send you the missing puzzles. Like I'm not going to violate a right I don't have to release content into the world that like is meant on the site. And you can say like a daily game should have an archive. Great. Like LinkedIn may not have the features you want in a daily game. Like there are places to comment about that. Stealing their content, stealing puzzles I originally authored and I at least care about the rights to, like that's not creation. Like this is a case of too many apps, too many puzzles, and the good ones are kind of being misappropriated all across the board. And so like This is this month in Sudoku talk. So let's just talk about Sudoku. This is only a thing in the commercial games. Like no one cares about, like these are weird parts of the internet, like LiveJournal post number 1. Like no one's going to be copying that puzzle in the upper left. So Thomas, like why did Dr. Sudoku do it? Like got to be the first time doing it. I recently was getting back into puzzles and getting back into Sudoku, and I ran into a weird shock at SudokuCon, which is one of the sponsors of that event had a book where dozens of puzzles seem to be, maybe dozens is strong, let me say about a dozen. About a dozen puzzles seem to be inspired by things that had either originated on or grid shapes or forms that were on my LiveJournal. Some of them very old. Like one of the most unique things I've never seen anywhere else on the internet, and I wish it wasn't called tablecloth Sudoku. Like in Prague, in 2007, when I won the World Sudoku Championship, were these tablecloths with a 7x7 Latin square and then this pattern on the outside. And I made that into 2 puzzles at that time, one that had like the shape of up and one that had a different shape. I call this tablecloth Sudoku. It's really just a Latin square puzzle. It's not a Sudoku. There aren't regions. And this is a book that had tablecloth Sudoku, like just copying the same, like I've never seen this made again. Like they just decided to make it again. They don't say this is from Thomas Snyder or anything. Like they're not stealing the grid itself, but this concept is clearly being taken from a site, and it would be nice to at least mention, like acknowledgement. A lot of great ideas are from this author, Thomas Snyder. Thank you. Like, I'd love any form of that versus just taking this. This was a puzzle called Spinal Tap. This was written for the 2008 preview, where I actually made an 11 shape. Again, that's the Spinal Tap joke. And I used A's and B's, like the person that copies this uses 10s and 11s. But they actually call this Spinal Tap Sudoku. This is not a new variation that needs another entry in your book that's alphabetically before the tablecloth entry, so you encounter this one first in your book. Like, this is a randomly computer-generated barf on a version of tablecloth Sudoku that's slightly larger. So let's go through the grading. There are 4 extra space puzzles in this book, and I've shown you the 4 extra space puzzles which are on my LiveJournal with slight rotations. These are now the new Dr. Sudoku forms. The early one, extra space flower Sudoku, yep, got that one. Extra space stripe Sudoku, yep, got that one. Extra space English Sudoku with a big Sudoku and a specific pattern of gray cells, perfectly copied, yep, got that one. Extra space Japanese Sudoku, again with a pattern of non-pare. This should be non-pare. It says Japanese non-pare. That does not say Sudoku. That says non-pare. All there. And so, like, how should you feel about this? Like, this has taken a grid idea, a variant idea. It's taken out the numbers and randomly put in asymmetric forms of other numbers. These are original puzzles, but they've stolen a lot from the original source that put together this composition of a theme, and one of them on their own, like maybe stripes is the most likely to be encountered by other designers. This is a very specific pattern. These for sure are a very specific story. This is theft. This is 100% theft. I would take any action I want to if this book was actually going to be a successful book. I have the right to under my copyright, and this is misappropriation. This is more than misappropriation. But again, the weird thing, this is not the only time this has happened with extra space puzzles. Theft is rampant, I say. Like, I had a fake tweet on our video yesterday that was showing examples of extra space Sudoku. These are now the cover images of a different book series by Mindful Puzzle Books. This is, again, like, they've got like 200 books out there. Like, they're certainly computer generated. I think the AI to just make books is far better than like people to make puzzles. So like, I'm very curious to see what anything is sort of with these books. But here's again, like the flower, like they got 1 check mark. Let's go. Book 3, they got the stripes. Book 5, they've got Sudoku with the English form, and they at least color green and red differently than I did gray everywhere. So they did one slightly inventive step, although I would have made that cell here maybe red so that the top is all red and the bottom's all green. I don't know. Like, I'm a little perturbed by the cell near the D. And yes, they get to 100% on the non-pare. And it curiously, like, they know to remove the ready for a challenge line, so it still says Sudoku here, but they don't remove it from the start of non-pare. So this is en pare. Like, they have not done this theme justice because they're idiots. But again, like, they have other books. Like, I haven't covered all the books in their series. Like, what the heck is a cover of 2 and 4? Like, if these are my 4, like, internet to the rescue. There are ways to solve for missing things if you need more books. Let's do a search on extra space Sudoku. Like, Friday puzzle number 1 was my famous flower puzzle, and sometime around that time, this is actually a few years later, but April 6, 2011, Figonometry, who is a friend and commenter there, posted Wednesday puzzle number 0. It was kind of like a joke about ripping off other people's ideas, and like, this is the right way to do it. He's calling attention to my style, my book, Me and Wei-Hua Wang, he's doing in the style of Friday puzzle number one. Like this is a joking form of proper attribution. And he makes this grid and he puts an F and G in the givens for trigonometry, which is a really cool theme. And here, so higher bar, we're going to take away the 100% rating. That grid now has to be a cover image to make 100%. Oh, yep, there it is. Same grid, book number 2. So, like, but they've got more books. Like, let's just keep looking. So, the 2018 US Sudoku qualifying test by Wei-Hua Wang renames the style loose fit. And I would even critique these. These say loose fit Sudoku. I don't like the term loose fit. I created the style. I say extra space. Wei-Hua came up with this term loose fit. So, at least we must see if they've caught on to loose fit by seeing his puzzle. And of course they have. Like, you can just find, if you scrape the internet, all these covers. The most fascinating question then is like, what in the heck is inside? Is it the same grid 1,000 times? Like, they don't have any inventiveness to make new patterns. They don't even randomly generate these patterns. They put random barf on the patterns. This is my art. This is other people's art. This is just stolen. And this is not like an AI only thing. Like, today the trend is to say derivative works are coming from AI, and sometimes they do. The worry is unethical humans, not unethical companies that don't see it as a problem to violate copyright. And it's very hard. Maybe I should be doing DMCA notices across the internet. It's very hard if you have these rights to even apply them if you're a small party. And I do make derivative works, but I ask for permission. I give recognition. I've called out on my site, like the originators of most of the styles we publish as routines. Like Star Battle, originally from Hans Endebach, is called out on our site. Sudoku, originally by Howard Garnes and then improved by Niccoli, is called out on our site. And then we make individual instances of these grids, which are original works. And when I take like a theme from Gas and make like a half puzzle based off something Bill Murphy does, I call that out too. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to license some of the best new authors for our site, is to properly like clean up, you know, some of the space of where their work is and how their work should be able to be recognized and put into books and be eventually commercial for some really great authors, where the whole of the app space is a mess. And the whole of how authors are treated in this world, even by people who are half ethical, not fully unethical, is a mess. And so, yes, I've made some puzzles. I've made so many puzzles now that people don't always recognize my work as well as I do. I could post one of the most important Friday puzzles as my first AI puzzle and hope that in that first week someone would say, Dr. Sudoku's just plagiarizing. What's wrong with your AI? Like, that was going to be the story if it went down that path. And instead, the AI sort of like went through its path just fine. I just kept doing it and no one caught on. Because again, like, people have been stealing extra space Sudoku in books, in book covers, like not even under seal anymore, just without, and again, maybe it's entirely my fault for inventing the style and not knowing how to prosecute everyone who's been violating my copyright. But for sure, I'm starting to republish my old work, and I'm trying to redigitize my old live journal because it is in the dark of the internet, because it's owned by a Russian owner, and it's mostly been downlisted by search ranking sites. And so the more all my puzzles are in one database is a place I can at least sort of have everyone aware of and continue to sort of check that they're not sort of taking away from my stuff. So going forward, we're still going to be using the AI sort of story, because you still don't know sort of how I make these puzzles or remake these puzzles or how I'm digitizing LiveJournal. You might think it's just me working all of my nights, but whatever it is, here's Silicon, which is tomorrow's puzzle. Sorry, the puzzle posting in about, the puzzle that posted a little while ago because this video is long. This is the 18th puzzle from Dr. Sudoku, our AI-powered puzzle engine pushing the limits of Sudoku intelligence. Editor's note, for this post, the AI borrowed heavily, but with permission, from a 2008 Motrus LiveJournal post. This is the same puzzle with some scrambles, and don't care what the scrambles are. I'm trying to make it look different, so again, I know where they're stolen from, if they're not just direct copies. This is the puzzle that will be tomorrow, and this is Erlenmeyer Flask. Now, I had made a puzzle like this, I think for Science Today or Daily Science or one of the Science Daily, let's say Science Daily, one of these news sites, when they were talking about how did I combine my science with my Sudoku solving. How'd that work? And I checked, and I'd never published that Erlenmeyer Flask puzzle anywhere on the internet. It's just for that newspaper. But this grid means a lot to me, and it actually has the potential for some great puzzles. So I just told our AI, like, make me some puzzles based off Erlenmeyer Flask. I looked through them. I found one I loved, and it's probably the best puzzle in the Erlenmeyer Flask I know how to make. But again, I didn't fully make it. Dr. Sudoku made this. This will be the puzzle coming. This is sort of how we're going to do it now. We're going to mark the sum of the how. But, like, we're going to be digitizing our past, and we're going to be trying to figure out how to have a better world in the future. And some part of that world is ignoring all the stupid things that plagiarize and steal and suck up all the oxygen and take all the paper clips or make all the paper clips, whatever's going on. All I can say for today is like your way to prove your intelligence is to show you're human, that you have ethics, you have morals, you're not an artificial intelligence. There are humans with artificial intelligence. They think they've got some superpower because they can make 8 extra space Sudoku books. And all they've done is sort of shown they don't have any knowledge of what makes those puzzles special. Like if you're a real intelligence, and that can be carbon, it can be silicon, you can like, you can comment, you can subscribe, you can solve, you can construct, you can help us set the record straight on Dr. Sudoku and plagiarism. You can for sure give ratings on the app, but not the puzzles for Park Seasons. Great puzzles. They were all stolen. At least many of them were stolen. Who knows? The app is shit. Please call it out as such. It's still available, even though I've tried before to talk to Apple and other places to fix it. Like I don't have a lawyer to kind of do the notice, and even so, like I don't know how to reap the benefit back from it. It's more of a nuisance than it's worth my time. I'm going forward and writing new puzzles, but I'm always going to call out this crap as it happens. And I apologize for the swears and the emotion in this video. This has been a topic that through my whole career has bothered me. That I'm even now revisiting my old career and recognizing puzzle 1 and puzzle 2 were about a thing I just copied myself, and the second one is saying the first time I was plagiarized. Friday puzzle number 2 is the first time I called out plagiarism. It's a small world, and it's cyclical, and I'm glad for those who are still following me and appreciate the art that we put together. Thanks, and we'll see you again soon.